Getting a job as a moderator for one of the world's largest social media platforms, something like Facebook, seemed like a good opportunity. The job was simple: review reported posts, remove inappropriate content, and ensure everything stayed within the community guidelines. I worked from home at night as my shift was from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., the quietest hours. At least that's what I thought. The first few weeks were normal. Occasionally I'd come across weird posts, insults, disturbing images, but nothing unusual for a platform of that size. However, in the group chat, some of the night shift moderators began reporting strange situations and phenomena, requesting review by the cybersecurity staff. A few days later, I received a direct email from the admin team. Subject: Instructions for Night Moderators, Security Protocol. Dear Moderator, we hope this message finds you well and that your experience with our night shift team is going smoothly. In light of several incidents reported in recent days, we are pleased to inform you that our cybersecurity team has conducted the necessary investigations and established a series of protocols that must be strictly followed during the night shift to ensure the safety of both the platform and its staff. These protocols are mandatory, and failure to follow them could result in fatal and undesired consequences for all. Below is a set of rules that apply exclusively to those working the night shift, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. We emphasize that these guidelines have been established based on previously identified situations and are mandatory. I read the guidelines and an overwhelming sense of unease washed over me. These people never spoke lightly or joked with the staff, yet these rules seemed anything but normal. Rules for night moderators of the social network. 1. The dot post. If you find a post with no text or images, only a single period, dot, as a description, delete it immediately. Do not attempt to open it or read the comments. If you do, your connection will drop, and when you return you'll see something you shouldn't have. 2. The report search. If you receive more than 99 reports in under 10 seconds, log out immediately and wait 15 minutes before reconnecting. During that time, ignore any email notifications. 3. The numbered account. If you review an account with a username that is just a sequence of numbers, like 84519766739, check how many friends or followers they have. If the number exceeds 10, don't just block the account, disconnect your router. The account won't disappear until you do. 4. The impossible language. If you encounter a post in a language you don't recognize, don't use any translators. Don't try to understand it, and under no circumstances should you enter it into a translator. Delete the post immediately. 5. The 3:33 a.m. disconnection. Every night at 3:33 a.m., you must log out for exactly 3 minutes. If you receive notifications during that time, don't open them. When you return, make sure the report count isn't at 0. If it is, report it to security, log out and unplug your computer. Don't turn it back on for 24 hours. 6. Reactions without comments. If you find a post with more than 10,000 reactions but not a single comment, delete it without reading it. These reactions were not made by users. 7. The message with your full name. If a private message from an unknown user contains only your full name, change all your passwords. Do not open any other messages until you've done this. 8. Your doppelganger. If you find a profile identical to yours or another moderator's, don't interact with it. Report the account directly to the admins. Do not attempt to delete it yourself. 9. The invisible image. If a reported image doesn't appear to be visible or available, don't try to unlock or restore it. Just delete the report and move on. If you manage to see it, it will stay in your gallery forever. 10. The endless video. If you come across a video that doesn't end after 10 minutes, stop watching it immediately. No matter how curious you are, the video won't stop on its own, and every minute you keep watching, more details about your life will appear in it. 11. The empty profile. If you review an account that has no posts, photos, or friends but has been active for over a year, close the tab immediately. 12. The mirror user. If you see your reflection on the screen instead of the profile image, turn off your computer immediately. Don't continue browsing. 13. The missed call. If you receive a call from an unknown number while on your shift, don't answer it. If you do, someone on the other side will speak to you in a language you won't understand, but you'll remember their words for the rest of your life. 14. The final email. If you receive an email from the platform with the subject, "Thank you for your service," do not open it. Your shift isn't over yet. My curiosity grew, but I decided to follow the rules. I didn't want to lose a good job just because of some weird guidelines. The first few nights after receiving the message passed without incident, though I noticed some things that matched the rules. Posts with dots, users with numeric names, even posts in strange languages. I deleted them without a second thought as instructed. But one night, around 3 a.m., my moderator panel went haywire. Over 150 reports came in within 10 seconds. I remembered the second rule. I logged out immediately and anxiously waited the recommended 15 minutes. It felt like something was watching my every move. After the time passed, I logged back in. Everything seemed under control, but something felt off. At 3:33 a.m., I logged out of the platform for 3 minutes as the fifth rule instructed. During those 3 minutes, my inbox began to fill with notifications. Each one had the same subject: pending review, special post. I didn't open any of them. When the time was up, I returned to the platform and tried to ignore what had happened, but my heart was pounding. A few days later, I received a private message from an unknown user. The message contained only 2 words: David Howard. My full name. I remembered the 7th rule. Without hesitation, I logged out and changed all my passwords. I tried not to dwell on it, but a feeling of paranoia started to build up. I began noticing strange things on my profile. An old childhood photo appeared in my gallery, though I had never uploaded it. My friends list showed a duplicate of myself. A profile with my picture, my name, but it wasn't mine. I reported it to the admins but received no response. I followed the rules and didn't delete the profile myself, but each time I checked, there seemed to be more activity on that account, as if someone was using my identity on the platform. On my last night working, I reviewed a post that seemed to be in an indecipherable language filled with strange symbols. I remembered the 4th rule, but something about that post drew me in. I don't know why I did it, but I copied it into a translator. The language was Akkadian, and the message said, "And there are those who have dared to peer beyond the veil, and to accept him as their guide, but they would have shown greater prudence by not making any deal with him." My computer froze, the system shut down, and the lights in my room flickered. When the screen returned, I was on the homepage, but something had changed. My profile was no longer mine. Someone had taken control of my account. And from that moment on, every post, every image, and every comment seemed to be directed at me, though no one else seemed to notice. "Hello, David. Hashtag David, verify your ID." I saw it everywhere, on every post. My headphones began emitting a strange, disturbing static. With sweaty hands, I threw them across the table and unplugged them. Suddenly, my laptop began making a deafening noise, the kind old CPUs used to make when a nearby phone received an incoming call. But I was working on a laptop, so what the hell? I turned on the lights and hastily opened my phone. The selfie camera was on, and the phone wasn't responding to any other buttons to shut it down or return to the home screen. All I could see was my face surrounded by darkness. The lights were on, so how was this possible? On the verge of panic, I threw myself to the floor and yanked the laptop's power cord out. The lights started flickering and the temperature began to drop. My instincts kicked in one last time, and I ran out of the room, racing down the dark hallway with tears streaming down my face and my heart pounding, until I reached the fuse box. I flipped all the switches off in one go and collapsed with my back against the wall. A deathly silence followed. I waited for what felt like centuries, though only 5 minutes passed, until my breathing finally calmed. I stood up and turned the fuses back on. I turned on all the lights in the house and entered the room. Everything was exactly as I'd left it. The phone seemed to be working normally, but I had lost my internet connection and couldn't reconnect to the Wi-Fi with my password. I didn't bother checking the laptop. I threw it straight in the trash. I didn't sleep a wink that night. I quit the next day and switched internet providers. But since then, every time I log onto the social network, I feel like something or someone is watching me. Posts continue to appear, with comments and messages that seem to know details about my private life. And sometimes, at 3:33 a.m., I get a notification from an account with my own picture, requesting to be friends. I haven't accepted it, yet.